And we are live, guys. Welcome, women of high value, to the live stream from Oslo, Norway. My name is Joseph Darling. What I want to talk about today is, as always, a very controversial topic. Now, you guys love controversy, so that's what I'm going to give you, but at the same time, this is important stuff. Like, in the world that we are building today, people are saying, women need education. Women need education. Women need education. So basically, we're trying to get as many girls to get into school as possible because there's in many countries girls are not learning how to read, how to write. They're not learning how to, do all the basic math and all the things um, that we in the industrial developed world have. Now, I'm all for that, okay? It's very critical that girls grow up and understand the world that we live in and understand the basics of reading and learning and being able to self-educate themselves. But other than that, school is an absolute massive waste of time and money. How can I say that? Well, let me tell you first that this is what I teach men as well. I teach men that going to school will never create the fantasy life that you have for yourself. Going to school will never give you that amazing family that you think you will create. That's not what it's designed to do. People say women should get as much academic education as they can. And here am I telling you it's an absolute waste of time. So let's examine, why do you want to study? Or why should people study in general? Or what benefits do they say you can get from studying? Well, first of all, people believe that you need to study in order to get a job. That's fair. Very often these days people don't accept people without a bachelor's degree or a master's degree. However, we're entering into a new era now where there's huge companies like Google and Facebook and others who are basically saying to their applicants now that they don't need a degree anymore. So now there are some trends changing because people are discovering that people who've been to college are not necessarily smarter than those who are street smart. It's the street smart who've basically spent most of their time focusing on their skills and focusing on people and focusing on how to develop themselves instead of being in a classroom trying to listen to a professor who has no idea what he's talking about because his knowledge and his understanding of the world has massively changed. Robert Kiyosaki says that information doubles in 18 months, which basically means that within 18 months, your information that you have is obsolete in this fast-paced world that we have in terms of a job, in terms of work. So you continuously have to educate yourself. I'm not saying don't educate yourself. I'm saying school is old school. School is basically like 1980s, okay? Like it doesn't work in the real world. So why else do people say that you should study? Well, I mean, to make money, to work in society. But I'm saying the main reason that you should study in general is to get skills and to serve others. Now, to get skills, you have to do the thing. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "Do the thing and ye shall have the power." So sitting in a classroom, listening to someone basically telling you what to do, that's the normal workforce, doesn't give you massive results. What gets you massive results is practicing and repeating, repetition is the mother of skill, doing the thing that you actually want to master. So if you want to master piano, if you want to master another instrument, or if you want to master a sport, you need to be actively engaged, and your cells in your body has to be in the action of doing it in order for you to learn how it works. And for you to improve how it works. Make sense? So you want to also make sure that you serve others. In school, basically you have a bunch of people telling you what to do and giving you information, and you're not doing much other than tests and different things like that. Again, waste of time. Why? Why should you not get academic education in order to get a job and make money? Isn't that how the world works? Well, think about it. You get a job, and how much of that money goes to taxes? Have you ever thought about that? You know, you think you have 20% in tax or 35% if you live in Norway or something like that. No, no, no. If you think about all the taxes that are in the country, everything included, your tax is approximately 60 to 70%. So 2/3 of the money that you're making will consistently be going to tax. You are basically getting tons of academic education in order to study, to get a job, to get good grades. And once you have a job, 2/3 of that money that you've worked hard for all of those years goes to the government to pay for girls who don't go to school and to don't get a job. And basically for welfare and health benefits and all that other stuff that the government spends money on. Or to bail out banks. So what also happens is that 1/3 of money that you do get, you become addicted to it. It becomes like, yeah, but that's my lifestyle. I need to have that lifestyle. You don't need to have that lifestyle. That's just something that's in your head. It's a limiting belief that you tell yourself, well, I need this much money every month. You only tell yourself that after you've gotten the job. The moment you get a job, you start living paycheck to paycheck. Most people do that. Money. I spend it all. And then I wait for my next paycheck. And then it's money. I spend it all. And very often, because I have a job, I can also get myself into debt. And once you get yourself into debt and you don't believe, or you don't, have the expectation that you're going to repay it immediately within those first 30 days where there's no interest, that's going to be a problem. And it's going to burden you and discipline you even more and make you more masculine and create more problems. It's not going to work. The more academic education you get, also, the less choice you have among men. What's interesting is that men, masculine men, rich men even, do not care about your degree at all. Actually, they're more turned on from you being dependent on them being able to have the power, in some sense. I'm not saying that some men don't use that power wrongly, but there are other guys, including me, that would absolutely massively love the fact that you don't have a degree. Not because of the power, but simply because you don't have the experience of a college campus. You don't have the experience of massive sexual partners. You don't have the experience of being drunk every single weekend, basically throughout that whole 3 to 5 year period. Now, I'm not saying all girls do it, but the majority of girls do. Like, we're talking, if 51% was it, that would still be the majority. So don't quote me on statistics because I don't know. I just observed what people did when I was in college for 2 years, absolutely wasting my time. So, what do I suggest then? What is my vision? Well, my vision is to create families. I want to create families that work. I want to create men who don't need a job, but that create jobs. I want to create men, and this is what I'm doing on the other channel, that actually massively create wealth and riches. What on earth did you need then your academic education for if that's the kind of guy that you're going to get anyway through this channel or through other means of learning from me or other mentors? You don't need it. What you need to focus on that will serve you long term is understanding people. Okay, there's 2 things in the world that you need. You need people skills, you need money skills. Money skills you don't learn in school. So what was the point then? People skills, however, some people will say, yeah, but what about socialization? Socialization, that's the main thing that mothers and other people complain about to us since we homeschool our kids. As long as the kids have siblings, and I would say minimum of 3, you need to have 3 siblings, okay? They will entertain each other, be there for each other, support each other, and learn from each other and learn how to interact with people through that, okay? Now, is my daughter a little bit shy? Yes, she is. She's 7 years old, homeschooled, but I don't believe that that would necessarily improve if she was put in school. She would, of course, develop a niche type of group of friends that she wanted to be socially accepted by, and then she would basically, her entire primary school, try to become like them, try to adopt their mindsets and their clothing and their jewelry and their makeup and everything that goes along with that school thing. That's a waste of time, but it's also dangerous, because once you get, especially, you know, she learns about interesting things sometimes, and then you have been disciplining her to go to school when she didn't even want to go to school, and forcing her. Once she gets to her teenage years, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to rebel. You're not going to listen to your parents. You don't want to listen to your parents because they haven't been listening to you all those years. You've been forced. Now you want to rebel. That's always what happens. That's how feminism came about. Women have been forced in patriarchy all these years, and feminism is a result. So that's what happens. It's way better for a girl to be not disciplined at all throughout her early years and have a massively open communication with her parents, her dad and her mother, in order to go and navigate through the years of transformation to becoming a butterfly, you know, to becoming liberated in some sense. So anyway, going back to the people skills, is you want to learn how family works. You want to learn how men and women work and what motivates both of them. You want to learn what motivates you, how you function. You want to learn how to educate children, how children work, and how you can most benefit them and the next generation. You want to observe people. This is the only way that you get true people skills, is by observing. Okay? Sitting down, go to the park if necessary, and watch people. Watch what they do. When people get angry at each other, watch what they do instead of involving yourself. Watch, observe. Because observing is going to get you knowledge and know-how how to respond to people and how to help them. So, socialization, you can get that at home. But what is a girl to do if she's, you know, if she's a lone child? Should she also beg her parents to take her out of school and homeschool her? Yes. Okay, but it needs to be in a manner whereby she gets her socialization in. So if that's through sports or through any other activities where the parents can be present and encourage her, that's fantastic. But another amazing thing about homeschooling is that there are probably other girls your age, if parents just got together or created a homeschooling group in a specific area, you would find other people who want to homeschool their kids. And instead of having, you know, you can develop friends among them and then take turns among the parents to do the homeschooling. Instead of the government and its programs being the protocol, you still have to follow their system and do the tests sometimes and be under guidance by them. But in general, if we leave them out, create a homeschool kind of environment and a trend. Eventually, more and more people will get into it and you will be able to socialize with them. I'm not going to belabor it even more, but there's other things that I'm going to share in the next video talking about money skills. So let's see if I can manage to remember that. But this is what I would say. Beg your parents to take you out of school. Why? Mostly is because of the interaction with boys and interaction with other girls who don't have the same mindset as your parents or as you want to have long term. You don't need their rejections. You want to manage to stay within your bubble and educate yourself on what's important in life. Not only that, but you will be able to save countless hours of time. You're going to be able to do what you want to do, what interests you at all times, as long as you do the minimum, the bare minimum of what this government expects you to do. But if you have a personal trainer or a coach or a mentor to teach you through that, you don't need to go through the school experience. I definitely do not recommend it, and my daughter is not going through that school experience, of which I am truly grateful. And then eventually, she will figure out how to create an amazing family with a man of her choice, together with collaboration with her parents in selecting that guy, and she can truly enjoy a luxurious life because the guy that she marries is the most important decision that she ever makes in her life in terms of her happiness. And schooling does not help one bit towards that. This is the Women of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. I'll see you again tomorrow.